So this is my 22.2 exercise prescription by me. So firstly, exercise prescription. So this is a specific plan or fitness-related activity that is designed for a specific purpose, which is often developed by a fitness or rehabilitation specialist for a client or patient. Due to specific needs of different patients, the goal of the exercise prescription should be successfully integrated exercise principles and behavioral techniques which can help to motivate the client to continue and achieve their goals. So a healthcare professional provides an exercise program that matches the FIT principle. So as you can see, so it's frequency, so decide how often to train, intensity, so choose how hard to train, time, decide how long to train, and type, decide what method of training to use. So contrain conditions, so they're a physical or mental condition that increases the risk involved when engaging in a particular activity. So there are two types, as you can see. Firstly, absolute. So this means that they're like absolutely under no circumstances should you undergo exercise testing. So you're at risk to serious injury or death, and the risk outweighs the benefits. So, for example, severe infections or fevers, serious illnesses of any kind, or emotional distress. And the other one's relative. So these are less threatening conditions, but still danger enough warranting supervision and precautions. So it may be more flexible, and you need to look out for warning signs. For example, previous history of heart illnesses, any skeletal or neuromuscular disorders like back problems or liver diseases. So you just need to be careful, like manage the type of training and intensity that you do. And alongside all of these, you can also have exercise contraindications. Conditions. So this is whereby exercise could cause more harm than good. For example, sit-ups, whereby if the correct technique isn't completed correctly, more harm and extra strain on the lumbar is caused. So firstly, look at my first group, which is children. So different groups have different contraindications, which is what we're going to go through. So children. So the first one, they could be obese. Obesity is like a contraindication. So some children may lack in physical activity, so they could be obese, which could be a problem. So this is relative, as it can force a child to miss physical activity totally. So I suggest that high amounts of aerobic exercise they should be doing, as they won't go straight into cardiovascular exercises at a high rate, but light exercises should be done to slowly build it up. Possible injury is another one, because you might have pulled a muscle or undeveloped muscles. So these are both relative as well, because it does mean it does carry some harm, but if it's monitored and dealt with correctly, it shouldn't be a problem. Exercises that should be done for undeveloped muscles should be more aerobic exercises, and slowly build up the isometric exercises to slowly increase muscle development and muscle movement. Weight bearing exercises shouldn't be done, as you shouldn't be doing this as undeveloped muscles. Asthma is another one, as this can be both contraindications. So in serious cases, it could be absolute. However, more than often than not, it's relative, and exercises should be done is like light aerobic and anaerobic exercises, but not to the point you're causing harm with the asthma. So high intensity aerobic exercises should be avoided as well, as you don't want to aggravate the condition even more and cause like an asthma attack. Excessive load, so again, we don't want to do weights as the joints and bones can be easily damaged as they're still growing. Therefore, high impact sports like running and team sports are good to build this up and increase bone density. So overall, the three main areas I prescribe is like cardiovascular fitness, resistant training, and flexibility training, as this will help gradually reduce some of their contraindications like obesity, as regular exercise will help this. So cardiovascular fitness, the frequency should be around like 5 to 7 days, so like every day at a moderate intensity up to 60 minutes a day, and the activity should be promoting fun and enjoyment, so the children want to participate out of their own choice. Resistance training should be done around 2 to 3 times a week, but you also need like rest days in between, so the intensity should be light initially and then can build up and you can build that up, so around 20 to 30 minutes each session, and it should be focusing on movements involving several joints, so it should be like 6 to 15 reps. And lastly, flexibility training is important to like stretch some muscles out, so around 2 to 3 times a week. And they should hold the stretch until a slight discomfort, should be around like 8 to 10 seconds, and this should be done in all the major muscle groups. So the second group is the elderly. So contraing addictions is like hypertension, and this is common among elderly people due to the reduced elasticity of blood vessels, which could be a result or reduced limited exercise. So by individuals completing regular fitness activities, this can help to reduce blood pressure, and the best type of exercise with this would be like aerobic exercises. So exercises that I would recommend is that I would not recommend, is isometric exercises and changes in levels, and doing extremely high intensity work with high blood pressure, as this could increase this even further. So I'd recommend for someone with hypertension that they complete 4 sessions of physical activity a week, around 30 minutes. And they could start with like a brisk walk for 10 minutes and then slowly ease it into like a jog for the rest of the time, working at around 60 to 70% of their max heart rate. So this will help their muscles become stronger and more efficient, and will develop their body's ability to transfer oxygen and carbon dioxide away from the muscles. So by making their heart stronger, this means their heart can work like without as much effort and pumping as much blood, meaning the force of the arterioles decreases, which will therefore lower the blood pressure as less force is being applied. So the majority of these training sessions should be in this zone, I think. So another one is osteoporosis, another contraing condition, which is relative in most causes, unless it's very serious. And this is where the bones become brittle and fragile from the loss of tissue. So osteoporosis can occur as a result of weakened bones and is more common in the older generation. So I'd recommend someone that has it or developing it should do gentle aerobics, low weight bearing exercises such as swimming, as this is a strengthening exercise which I think should be completed. So I'd recommend that they also do resistance training, like using the machines at the gym. So they should do 10 to 15 repetitions until loss of good technique. So they should try to do around 6 different exercises, which should last around 20 minutes. So they should do the machines, but also free weights depending on the individual ability and mobility they have. And they should initially use low resistance to allow the other person to adapt, and then they can slowly start to build it up. Lastly, injury is another contraing addiction. So an injury like a broken leg is common for elderly people, as they have a lack of balance and stability, so they're prone to like falling over and hurting themselves. So an injury like this may take around 3 to 6 months depending on the severity of the break. Therefore the prescription I would provide is like split into stages. So the first like couple of weeks, like 2 to 3 weeks, I'd prescribe that the participant should begin with non-weight bearing exercises, which can help to improve the range of motion and flexibility in their legs. So exercises like swimming is good as it's low weight bearing. This should be complete twice a week for 30 minutes at a medium intensity, which will help improve their range of motion and start to build strength up. Also, exercises like ankle rotations and calf flexions should be done, like 3 sets of 10 reps at a high intensity every day, just to slowly start to build that strength up again. And weeks 4 to 6, I think, should include exercises that help to improve strength. This may include exercises with resistance bands, like on the screen, the different leg exercises you can do. They should do around 3 sets of like 10 seconds holding it, which would give the leg a good workout. So later on, exercises like wall sits and one leg squats should be done as the strength is built up. So usually 3 sets of 10 reps at a high intensity. and the later weeks after should include full weight bearing exercises like stated before, but adding weights. These again should be done at 3 sets of 10 reps at high intensity. And equipment such as weight ankles may be beneficial for future increase in strength and mobility. And the final group is obesity, and the chronic training conditions could be coronary conditions, high blood pressure, and arthritis. So coronary conditions, this could vary in severity. So like a recent heart attack or recent strokes, which would be absolute coronary training conditions, but it could also be like a long history of coronary heart disease, which would be relative, as you can control it and like monitor it. High blood pressure, hypertension, and arthritis. So due to excessive stress that is placed on the joints due to excess weight. So we don't want to like put even more stress on the joints. So I would say try and avoid like high impact activities and high interval training activities, as will really aggravate the high blood pressure and heart conditions. And again, with the high blood pressure, I wouldn't recommend any isometric exercises or changing levels, as this will aggravate it. So firstly, I'd prescribe an obese person to join a club, as this is a way to make friends and at the same time exercise, because they probably won't be very motivated at the start, and they are likely to be very self-conscious of their weight. So if they're with other people at the same like ability and level, they might start to relax and like start to enjoy themselves and participate well. And I'd also recommend like not doing individual sports at the start, because they can like easily drop out as they'll be doing on their own, so they can easily give up. And I think they do need that social aspect as well. So for exercises, I would say start off with low intensity and high frequency, so do 5 days a week, just to stay away from the high impact exercises, and doing it frequent will mean that they will like get into habit and routine. So a low intensity aerobic exercises for 30 minutes, so working the aerobic system at a moderate pace. I would also prescribe some resistance training 2 to 3 times a week, so 10 to 15 reps or till the form failure for 1 or 2 sets. They should target large muscle groups and limit weight bearing in lower limbs. And also, I think water activities like swimming and aerobics is a good choice, as it's non-weight bearing and provides a considerable resistance to work against. So they should do this twice a week for 30 minutes at a medium intensity or an hour at a lower intensity.